So we're doing this today. So, as you just saw, GeorgeNotFound has come out with his statement, and to be quite frankly honest here, I don't know how to feel. I mean, I know what to say, like, okay, he came out with a statement, congratulations, we've been waiting for literally 36 hours for this. I mean, you could have came out a little faster, you know. But all jokes aside, today I'm going to go over his entire statement, what he said in the most important parts of his live stream that he did just a few hours ago. But for those who need a little catching up here, because this drama is still kind of fresh, there was accusations from this YouTuber named Katybug about this YouTuber that had done some SA to her. They had went to a party together in LA around VidCon time a few years ago, and they had went back to the Dream Team's hotel accordingly, and they played a bunch of drinking games, and she was legally underage at 18. However, George claims she had a ban on saying that it was 21, plus all the people at the hangout were around the age of 21, so he didn't really question it. Then they proceeded to do a ton of drinking games. She was drunk prior to coming to the party, but she got even more deliciously drunk at that party, to which then Katybug claimed that he tried to flirt with her and do other things to her, where the whole sticking the hand down the shirt thing came from. But now I'm going to show you the clip of George's stream, the clip highlights that I think are most important for the argument I'm about to make.
The scenario is that I was flirting with her throughout the night and that she was uncomfortable with this because of our age difference. At the time, she was 18 and I was 26. She actually assumed I didn't know her age because she had never said it. But then later, I had actually DM'd her on Instagram. And because of this, she says that it is confirmed that I know her age. To give some context to this scenario and why I didn't know her age, my perspective of things is that I am with people that are over the age of 21 in a scenario where we are doing things that people that are over the age of 21 are doing, like drinking. And also the people that came from an event where they had very heavy security. This was an official VidCon after party, and with previous VidCon after parties, I even had problems getting into these events. There was one time where they didn't let me in because they couldn't confirm the legitimacy of my UK ID. They said they weren't trained to look at foreign IDs. And also, since Katie's stream, I've gone back and reviewed texts from the time, and there was actually a picture where it was shown that they had this 21 plus wristband on one of the apps. I have no reason to think otherwise, other than her Instagram bio, but I just didn't see it. Instead of saying that her and the rest of her friends actually wanted to come to the hotel to hang out with us, she said that one friend was invited by Dream, but she didn't want to go alone. So then they decided to go along with her because they were willing to go anywhere. I just think it's important to note already that the story is slightly different from the reality of it. They had actually texted multiple times, specifically wanting to play this drinking game that we had played the night before. To add further context to this moment, we were all actually sitting on the couch that was in the hotel room playing this game on her phone. And during this, me and Katie were at the far end of the couch and we were cuddling together. We had been cuddling for, I'd say, around an hour at this point, playing the game, talking, and just having fun. And for clarity, I had my hand around her waist above her cloak. So with her statement where she's saying that she's resorting to playing games on her phone, I just don't really understand it. And I think that the picture that she's painting is really dark, when in reality, she seemed very happy with the situation, was having a good time. I also want to address a fact that she claimed that would confirm that I know her age. She said that she had answered a question about her age during a drinking game, and we were talking about sex, and that she admitted to everyone in the room that she was 18 and a virgin at the time. I just don't remember this happening. I'm not saying this to just pretend like it didn't happen. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I did not hear it happen. We're not just all sitting down and not moving. It's a, it's a chaotic environment. I could have been getting a drink. I could have been talking to someone else. I just did not know that that was sex. But I did place my hand on her waist under her shirt. The way it's phrased makes it sound like it just happened out of nowhere, when in reality, we'd been cuddling for over an hour at this point, and it was not out of nowhere. It was also around half an hour until I started moving my hand further up, and the way it's phrased just makes it seem like it happened pretty instantly and pretty quickly. There was nothing quick about it. It was very slow, and I was very cautious about it and making sure that she was comfortable throughout the process. Me and Katie were very touchy, very cuddly, and very slowly got more intimate. And also, before I continue, I want to make it clear that the furthest anything ever got was under the shirt touching and cuddling. Now, obviously, people don't typically ask if everything is okay, even such as touching someone's waist under their shirt before they do it, but in this case, I was extremely slow, and she was engaging with me the entire time, laughing, cuddling with me, and even playfully fighting me. Also, when her friends left, she got up to say goodbye to them, and she would come back to the same scenario. And it's at this time that Katie says that, this is a quote, "I went to leave, and the older guy then decided to leave too." This is phrased in a way that makes me look kind of creepy, to be honest. What actually happened is Dream had decided he was too tired and was going to bed. So the night was over, and we all left. She then goes on to tell a story about the elevator and how I joked about it being broken to try to get her to go in with me. So Katie actually had her own hotel room on the same floor as Dream. So she actually didn't have to take the elevator. She walked me to the elevator when she didn't have to and said goodnight to me, which was nice of her. I did joke with her about coming in the elevator by pretending that it was broken. I went into the elevator, the doors closed, and I would press the doors open button to make it open again. I did this a few times, and she didn't go along with it, which I respectfully took, obviously, and ended up just going down to my room. Yeah, she didn't have to take the elevator, yet she chose to walk with me to the elevator to say goodnight to me. What I do think is that she is surrounded by a friend group that completely despises me and my friend. And this is quite a specific scenario that probably doesn't really happen that much, especially especially publicly. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of hard to talk about it. But I think after VidCon, she obviously had told some of her friends about what happened. Whether or not that was in a negative connotation, I do not know. I wasn't part of these conversations, of course, but she clearly told them about this scenario. Now, when these people that are around you all completely despise me and my friends, they're obviously going to look on this poorly.
And as said last night, it's a lot to take in. But I want to go ahead and get some thoughts. First off, this is a massive props from GeorgeNotFound to do this, because this is the correct way, in my opinion, to handle drama. When you have more than, I say, like 5 million followers, there's a good chance that your stands will turn on you. And like he said at the end, this could have been targeted harassment, which it very well could have been. But because, like I said yesterday, with the whole Shelby situation being so recent, it was so easy to believe Katie Bug's side because, well, you obviously don't want to victim blame here. You want to be on the, you want to assume the worst, and I know that's not the best way to look at it. I know it's not the best way to look out on life, but when you have a situation like this, and the way she sounds like she's having almost a breakdown, full-blown mental breakdown on stream, it can be taken out of context in some ways. Like, you know, how he said in his part, where, you know, they were cuddling for more than an hour before he tried to make any, you know, further advances on Katie, whereas in her stream it made it sound like, oh, we went into a room, it was just a full-on party, you know, and he tried to get down, he tried to SA me, and then he just did. He just went in, he said, you know, frick your privacy, I'm just gonna do it. Now, I will say from George's perspective, he could have been fished here about her age. The thing about the ban saying over 21 is a little convincing, and especially considering if you're in an environment where everybody is already above the age of 21. Like he said before, he could have been getting a drink. Now, this is could be him covering himself here, and personally, I have no way of knowing, but my guess is I'm kind of inclined to believe George a little bit more here, you know, because it sounds a little bit more believable. Obviously, you know, dealing with age and stuff like that, you just don't know, and I made it very clear in my video last night, I do not side with either one of these until this stream happens. And the thing is too, you know, Katie Bug was really not out of it. And the thing is too, Shelby, when she came out about hers, she was calm, collected, and it made sense. And then Wilbur confirmed that. He said, oh, I'm sorry guys, I was a disgusting person. But with this one, it feels like she came out of a point where she felt like she had been wronged, and then her friends had tried to convince her that what had happened was SA. And I mean, it could have been. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show off some of the tweets that have came out since this whole thing has happened. Now, Cotty did make a post in her Discord server, and I'm actually going to read that off first because this just came out. So Cotty Bug says, hello everyone, bad timing. I'm getting on a long flight as of now. As Ghosty said, I have seen what was said, and I will formulate all I have on the flight for a message as people have asked me to. Once I'm grounded, I'll release it, and I will be away for a bit. I'm telling you this now so you don't stay up stressing and know when things will happen. Originally, I did and not want to add to the situation with proof. I didn't want to create the idea that this is petty drama and it's not real life people that have been affected. I also don't want victims to feel like they have to prove themselves to people to be believed. I believe you, but I cannot control how situations play out. Yes, I know I do not owe it, but I will give it nonetheless. This will be the only quote-unquote proof or quote-unquote response I have, as I don't want to keep proving myself and participate in a drawn-out back-and-forth public drama. The more information and screenshots are released, the more complicated everything gets, and the point of all of this becomes lost. I don't want to participate in him proving himself or me doing so. I just want to share my story so victims around me know that they are not alone. I will let the people do as they please moving forward, but will not respond to anything else. As well, I need to take some time for it all too. This will be the only quote-unquote proof or response I have because I don't want to keep having to prove myself. I appreciate all of those who have supported me, especially those who've reached out privately to me with their stories and those who felt strong enough to come out publicly with them. You aren't alone. Once I'm back in about a week, I will stream my final response and message to everyone about the situation and the bigger issue at hand because there is a lot to say before moving on or healing. Love you all. I do think what Cotty said there was completely justified. She does need to take a week because right now, and especially with what we're dealing with here, where it's a bit of a mystery as to what's going on still, because, you know, it's still, at the end of the day, fame doesn't matter here. It's still two people arguing over something they believe they've been wronged about or something someone got a detail wrong about. I personally think here what Cotty did is perfect. Take a week off, do not dwell on it more, because if you dwell on it while you're already emotionally not sound, something's gonna happen where it's gonna get twisted and it's just gonna become a huge mess. And I love how the point she makes about how she's like, oh, I don't want this to continue on and all of this. Now, she could use this drama to make some big gains here, but I have a feeling that if she's trying to, you know, like play it off and even like say right now, like, oh, she doesn't want fame or whatever, then she's maybe not trying to do this. Now, obviously, more information could come out about this. Sorry, I had to sneeze. But more information could come out about this later. Right now, I'm just presenting the facts. But if I had to say, I believe George just a slight bit more. Although, because she was not fully put together. Now, obviously, there's still a week left before we see the end results of all of this. And that's really the big, like, jackpot of gold. I can't think of the word. But, like, the big jackpot of gold that we're waiting for here is that response at the very end of the week. But, you know, I do like how she's making her space open for victims and stuff, because I already said this in my previous video about Wilbur Soot, but I will reinstate it again because there's a ton of new viewers that have come to my channel through that. My place is a safe space for victims. If you want to talk about something, I'm down to talk about it. I'm down to help you. I'm here to help you. And I just wanted to make sure everyone in my community knows that you're not alone, and I'll help you out through this. But yeah, I honestly want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation. As it unfolds, I mean, there's still more to this that's coming out. Now, I'm not going to make another video on this at all until Caddy has made her response, because there really is not much left here to talk about. I mean, sure, Twitter's going to try and come out with more evidence, but until we have more cold hard evidence from the GeorgeNotFound or the Caddy bugs, I'm not going to make another video on it. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts down below, and hopefully you guys I hate saying when it enjoy a drama like this, but anyways, hope you guys did enjoy the video, and yep, I'll see you guys later. Bye.